Alright, hello, this is Mr. Crozier, and I'm going to help you with your homework today. I'm going to do two examples about product to sum problems. Alright, our job is to find the exact value here. We have cosine of 75 times sine of 15. Neither one is on the unit circle. We could do the add them together or subtract them together individually, but that's going to be really messy. So we have some new formulas today, and they're called the product to sum formulas. And we can turn in anything that's being multiplied together into this longer format over here. However, we're going to find some unit circle values when we do this on our assignment today. So here we go. We have cosine times sine. So I'm going to use this formula right here at the bottom that says if I have cosine of something times sine of something, I use this formula. So let me just go ahead and write that out. I'm going to put my 1/2 times sine of something. For now, we'll just leave that blank, minus sine of something. I'll leave that blank. So I'm using this formula here. Cosine times sine, that's what I have. Half sine of something minus sine of something. Alright, well, what's the first sine? Well, I add them together. Well, add those together, that's 90 degrees. Minus, subtract them, 75, well, that's 60 degrees. Alright, why did I do this? Because these are both on the unit circle. Go ahead and let's finish the math. We have 1/2 times sine of 90 is 1 minus root 3 over 2. Do some work with the fractions here. This would be what? Change this to 1/2 2 over 2 minus root 3 over 2. And we have 1/2 times 2 minus root 3 all over 2. And if I multiply this out, that's going to be 2 minus root 3 over 4. Now we have calculators. Just to check it here, you're not going to want to do this with a calculator because when we quiz on this stuff we will not use a calculator. But if I type this in, let's make sure we're in degrees. I recommend you check it with a calculator. Don't do it with a calculator, but definitely check it. Cosine of 75 times sine of 15. And that decimal should be, let's write that right above it, 0.066. And now if I plug this in here, I have 2 minus root 3 divided by 4. And yeah, I'm going to get that same exact decimal. So always check it with a calculator. You want to be able to do all this math without a calculator, or use a calculator to check it. Alright, let's do another one down here. This time we have the same setup here, but we have a 6 out in front. So let's see what formula we're going to use. Sine times sine, so we're going to use this one. So let's leave that 6 out there. That's 6. Then the formula, that's 1/2, and I like to write it like this. Sine sine is cosine cosine, kind of weird. But cosine of something minus cosine of something else. Close that and close that. Alright, let's check. 1/2. Formula's good. Alright, what do I have to do first? Subtract them. That's 1, so that's 2/8. That's pi over 4. And add them, that's 4/8. That's pi over 2. Now everything's unit circle. Put the formulas away. Do the math. Let's leave that 6 for now. What is cosine of pi over 4? That's root 2 over 2 minus 0 here, right? And now order of operation, we'll do that first. Well, that's pretty easy there. That's just root 2 over 2. And what do I have? Multiply, multiply, multiply. I can do them in any order I want to. If I do these first, I have that 6. That's root 2 over 4. And that's 6 root 2 over 4, which is 3 over root 2. Whoops, forgot about the root 2 right there. That's going to be my answer. Let's go ahead and double check that real quick. Here again, change to radians. 6 sine 3 pi divided by 8 sine pi divided by 8. I have a decimal of 2.12. Now let's check that. 3 square root of 2 divided by 2 checks out. Again, you need to be able to do the math without a calculator. Calculators only to check to make sure you're right. I want to show you a little bit different way to do this. When we're here, this is really one way to see this is to see that this is the A quantity times the B quantity times the C quantity, and you can do them in any order you want to. So a lot of times I'll just do this first, and I'll just say 6 times a half is this is 3 right here, and that's 3 all the way down, all the way down. Then you get to this point right here, and you just have 3 times root 2 over 2, which goes to right here. So I always like to multiply these first and get that 3 out there. So it's another way to do it. Same thing. Alright, last thing I want to do is talk about one review problem right here. Sine of 13 pi over 3. Now a lot of people think that's not on the unit circle, but that's absolutely on the unit circle. When you divide by 3, it's always on the unit circle. So maybe a different way to see this would be 13 thirds. 3 goes into, actually sorry, I wanted to make this 8 thirds. Let's make this 8 thirds. Just a different problem, sorry about that. Alright, 8 thirds, still not on the unit circle, right? Yeah, it is because it's divided by 3. 8 thirds is really 2 and 2 thirds. It's really 2 plus 2 thirds. And if I put the pi in there, it's really 2 pi plus 2 pi thirds. Alright, so what is this here? Well, if I go to this one, which is 2 thirds pi, that's that angle way up there, right? And then if I find that sine value, so what is that sine value? That's root 3 over 2. And if I add on another 2 pi, that just swings it around there. So the sine of 8 pi over 3 is the same thing as the sine of 2 pi over 3. And that is root 3 over 2. Let's try and confirm it on a calculator. Let's go to radians. Sine of 8 pi divided by 3. We have 0.86. That's going to be the decimal that we need. And if I go sine of 2 pi over 3, same decimal, the same position. So watch out for those. There's a couple of them at least I think in your worksheet for today, but when you're going around the unit circle more than once, you can still find those values. Alright, hope this helps with your homework today.